Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, That Model Railway Guy, for another exciting video today from Rapido UK, where I've been down there to check out some of their latest projects. Now before we dive right in, if you haven't already, please do like and subscribe. It really does help the channel out, and of course it means you get to see lots more model railway content in the future. But with exhibition season fully underway now, and the brand new National Festival of Railway Modelling taking place in just a week's time, lots of model railway manufacturers are gearing up for the event to show off their latest samples. Rapido are no different in this regard, and while there is some stuff that I can't show you just yet, there are plenty of updates on their various projects. So let's take a look at everything they've got to show us. We start out with the O1, a gorgeous little SE&CR tender engine. Announced this time last year, the project has progressed really nicely, and you can hear the DCC Sound project has now been finalised. This was recorded last year at the Spa Valley Railway using the preserved O1 number 65. According to Rapido, these have been very popular models so far, so if you don't want to miss out, make sure you get a pre-order in before the order book closes on the 2nd of December. Oh, and one little extra surprise from Rapido, the O1 will come pre-fitted with a Stay Alive inside too. A very recent project announcement from Rapido back in September was the new Evolution coach range. This project has progressed really quickly, and we now have the first running samples of the three main styles that'll be offered. Evolution are a set of generic but prototypically literate pre-grouping coaches. While they're not based on any specific design, the modular tooling does allow for lots of variations to be created. This is most noticeable with the three different roof designs. This is the elliptical roof style that will be available on the SE&CR, the GNR, the SDJR and the LMR models. Next is the arch roof, which will be available on the LB&SCR and the LNWR coaches. And finally we have the clerestory roof style, which will be available on the GWR, the GCR and the Midland Railway coaches. In addition to the different roof styles, these coaches are covered with plenty of extra detail, such as the separate steps on the ends and the roof furniture too. Not to mention the really nice bogie detail as well. All the Evolution coaches will come with a light bar installed too. This is a very welcome addition, especially as the coaches have some really nice interior detail, which I'm sure will look even better when all decorated. The lighting takes its power from the track and can be switched on or off using a magnetic wand. I personally really like this approach, as it gives you control over the lighting without needing a DCC decoder for every coach. As you can see, the Evolution coaches are running really nicely. These are of course first samples, so there are some changes and amendments to be made, as with everything that we're looking at today. But yeah, it's great to see how this project is coming along, and I think these coaches are going to look great on a lot of people's layouts in the near future. One for the N-Gauge fans now. Hot on the heels of the Class 44, Rapido have also since announced a Class 45 and a 46 to go with it, and you can see the first running samples of them here. Again, these are very early samples, and Rapido are already aware of some issues that need fixing. That is the point of these samples though, to address any problems before the models go into production. Yes, of course, it's also a nice marker for us to know how far along the project is, but obviously there's a functional reason for these samples too. They're looking absolutely great though, and like I said before, these should definitely be a welcome addition for N-Gauge modelers. One project announced last year that has been progressing quite nicely along in the background is the J52, and we now have running samples for this tank engine. You can see we've got some nice variations across the range, for example the different bunkers. There's also a stovepipe chimney variation which will be seen on a couple of models too. Putting them through their paces on the test track though, the J52 is already performing really nicely. I have to admit as well, when I picked one of these samples up, I was actually surprised at how heavy they are for a small tank engine, which is great. We'll be getting these in several different liveries. I think there's a few GNR ones in green and a grey one too. But most of the LNER and British Railways versions will be in a black livery, so it's not too difficult to imagine what these models will be like when fully decorated. And yeah, we did a little bit of shunting with the J52 here, which was nice and responsive, so again, another great sign. Again, don't forget to get your pre-orders in if you fancy picking up one of these for your own layout. Taking a look at something with a bit of colour now, it's the decorated samples of the B-set coaches. These are due very soon, and I think you'll agree that in both liveries seen here they look absolutely stunning. All over the printing on these is nice and sharp, and there's lots of little details that now stand out, for example the butterfly valves at the ends of the coaches. We've also got the option of having the open drop light windows too, which is a really nice touch. And around the bogies there's lots more detail, including that printing you might just be able to see on the sole bar. I do also want to highlight just how well the B-set is running through these set track points. They do come with a bar coupling to allow for a much more realistic gap between the two coaches, but you can see that hasn't impacted the running quality of the B-set in any way. Of course, the great thing about the B-set coaches is that these two carriages make up an entire train. With the 44XX providing the motive power, and perhaps a few of Rapido's GWR wagons on hand for some shunting, you've already got the basis there for a really nice compact western terminus station. Sticking with Great Western rolling stock for the moment, it's time to head back over to the N-gauge layout to look at another Rapido wagon project. These are the GWR Iron Minks, which Rapido have previously produced in their 00 gauge range. Like the SE&CR wagon packs, these are now being done in N-gauge too, and you can see these first samples are performing really nicely. With the Iron Mink body having been used throughout the country, Rapido are once again doing a not quite mink range that allows them to produce these in some extra liveries for those that can overlook a few prototypical inaccuracies. And finally, I was also able to have a listen to the brand new DCC sound file for the LB&SCR E1. This had literally only just been finished and has some interesting features to account for air braking that was used on this type of locomotive. You may also notice that these samples are now running a lot better than when I first filmed them earlier in the year, showing once again that Rapido are constantly assessing their models to make them the best they can be. So that's it for this latest Rapido update, and I have to say a massive thank you once again to the team for letting me have all this access to their upcoming models and letting me share what they're working on with you guys too. Of course, if you want to see these models for yourself, make sure you visit the National Festival of Railway Modelling in a week's time at the NEC in Birmingham. Rapido will be there with all of these samples on display and maybe some new things too. Not to mention their custom wagon design and printing service will be making a welcome return too, just in time for Christmas. I'll also be at the show as well, so do feel free to say hello if you see me around, but that's it for today's video. If you found this useful and you'd like to see more behind the scenes content from Rapido in the future, then please do subscribe and leave a comment down below letting me know what you'd like to see next. In the meantime though, thank you so much for watching everyone, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!